This past Saturday, Snow White premiered in Los Angeles in an exclusive, invite-only event attended by a select group of guests. Early reactions to the film have begun surfacing online, with some already calling it Disney's greatest cinematic achievement. According to early impressions, Rachel Zegler's performance is being hailed as nothing short of spectacular, with some claiming her talent is so remarkable that no critic could possibly challenge it. However, it's important to note that most of these overwhelmingly positive reviews come from critics and media outlets closely affiliated with Disney, raising concerns about potential bias. Despite the supposed success of the premiere, Disney has imposed a strict review embargo until the film's official release date. Typically, studios enforce such restrictions when they anticipate mixed or negative feedback, a move that has led many to question whether, with Disney enforcing a strict review embargo on its Snow White remake, many speculate whether the studio is bracing for a negative reaction or even a potential box office disaster. However, the film was still privately screened this Saturday in Los Angeles for a select group of journalists and critics, despite the cancellation of most major global premiere events and even the red carpet debut being scaled back. Almost immediately after the screening, an outpouring of glowing reviews flooded the internet. Critics closely associated with Disney wasted no time in praising the film as a visual masterpiece, calling it one of the best remakes the studio has ever produced. Some even described it as a veritable visual feast. Given that most early reviews come from media outlets with strong ties to Disney, skepticism is natural. Is Snow White truly a groundbreaking success, or is this simply a massive PR effort to mask potential shortcomings? With the official review embargo still in place, the world will have to wait to see if the film lives up to the praise or if reality paints a different picture. Disney's much-anticipated Snow White remake was finally unveiled at its Hollywood premiere, and early reviews are already calling it a stunning success. Reporter Ry Casey Stephan praised Rachel Zegler's brilliant performance, describing her as a dazzling supernova on the cinematic horizon. Critics have also highlighted the film's breathtaking visuals, new musical numbers, and charming animated creatures that bring a fresh magic to the beloved fairy tale. Even the previously criticized CGI dwarfs, once a point of contention, are now being described as enchanting and true to the fairy tale spirit. Beyond its visuals, many critics claim that the film adds new emotional depth by portraying Snow White as a young woman determined to become the leader her father always believed she could be. There's also a fresh take on the love story, described as sweet as apple pie, a comparison that, while whimsical, might seem a little too sugar-coated. Despite the overwhelming positivity, some question the sincerity of these early reviews. The almost overly enthusiastic tone of the feedback has raised concerns about whether this is genuine acclaim or just part of a carefully controlled PR campaign. One critic, Christopher Reese, reportedly described the film as, "Well, that remains to be seen. With Disney still enforcing a review embargo, audiences will have to wait and judge for themselves whether Snow White is truly a modern classic or just another heavily marketed reimagining." The first reactions to Disney's Snow White 2025 are in, and they're overwhelmingly positive, perhaps too positive. Some critics are calling it one of Disney's best remakes in years, with Rachel Zegler's performance being described as nothing short of magical. While such praise sounds promising, it also feels suspiciously like a marketing slogan. Could this be genuine excitement, or is it simply coordinated PR? Film editor Host Polk joined the chorus of acclaim, admitting he might later regret his words, but still praising the film's musical numbers, especially the opening sequence and the sinister moments featuring the evil queen. Gal Gadot's performance, according to Polk, was superbly executed. However, he did note that the CGI dwarfs remain a weak point, though not enough to overshadow the film's strengths. Another Hollywood reporter took the praise even further, boldly stating, "Rachel Zegler stuns." He described the Los Angeles premiere as a grand affair, despite its restricted access for critics. According to him, the film exceeded expectations, aside from its questionable CGI, which he found more amusing than problematic. While major critics continue to celebrate the film, independent voices online are beginning to push a different narrative. Some argue that the uniformly glowing reviews suggest a carefully controlled PR strategy, rather than an authentic response. Disney maintains its embargo on official reviews. The real question remains: Is Snow White 2025 a true cinematic triumph, or just another case of Disney's well-oiled marketing machine at work? The world will soon find out. As early reviews for Snow White 2025 flood in, many are beginning to question whether the film's glowing praise is genuine excitement or a carefully orchestrated marketing strategy. Several independent critics argue that the overwhelmingly positive reviews feel too synchronized, almost as if they were drawn from the same press release. Some even believe that the limited premiere was carefully curated, with select media personalities given strict guidelines on how to frame their impressions. The evidence? Articles with headlines like, "Haters of Snow White will not like this," seemingly designed to preemptively discredit negative opinions. Even more curiously, some social media accounts, self-proclaimed Rachel Zegler haters, are now suddenly praising the film, leading some to suspect this could be a classic PR tactic. Adding to the skepticism is Disney's strict review embargo, which prevents major journalists and industry experts from sharing their thoughts until March 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern European Time, just 24 hours before public screenings. This strategy is common when studios fear negative reviews and prefer to delay criticism rather than allowing audiences time to form an unbiased opinion. Normally, major releases allow reviews days or even weeks in advance to build anticipation. When that doesn't happen, it often signals that the studio is bracing for potential backlash. While Disney maintains that Snow White 2025 is a modern classic, skeptics believe the studio is using a tightly controlled PR campaign to smooth over months of controversy and backlash. With the embargo in place and a suspiciously coordinated wave of praise, the real question remains: is this truly Disney's best remake, or just their most calculated one? The answer will become clear once audiences get to see the film for themselves. So, wave of suspiciously coordinated praise surrounding Snow White 2025 has sparked debate among both industry professionals and everyday moviegoers. Many have noted that nearly every review echoes the same key phrases, such as "Rachel Zegler is the true Snow White," and "the film revives the magic of the 1937 animated classic." This mechanical repetition has led to skepticism about how independent these opinions truly are. Is this a pre-planned marketing effort, strategically designed to manufacture hype and ensure a uniformly positive reception? On the other hand, some critics and media personalities insist their enthusiasm is real. Several reviewers have stated that Snow White moved them to tears, an impressive feat, especially for those who rarely get emotional over films. According to them, it wasn't just the visual spectacle or musical numbers, but the depth of the storytelling that struck a chord. So, is this film truly a masterpiece, or are we witnessing one of the most sophisticated PR campaigns in recent Hollywood history? The real verdict will come once the general audience gets to see the movie for themselves. With Snow White 2025 now at the center of heated debate, the film has been labeled by some as a groundbreaking masterpiece, while others remain skeptical about the suspiciously uniform praise from critics closely associated with Disney. Thanks to modern CGI, advanced animation techniques, and a unique screenplay approach, Disney has managed to bring a fresh vision to this classic tale. The musical score is also being hailed as a major highlight, with many praising its memorable and powerful compositions. If the reviews are to be believed, Snow White is a perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation, breathing new life into the beloved 1937 animated film. However, the overwhelming praise from Disney-affiliated critics has raised eyebrows among independent reviewers. On social media, many are questioning whether this is a genuine audience response or a carefully orchestrated marketing campaign. The concern stems from the fact that in an era of diverse opinions and independent journalism, such uniform positivity appears unusual, especially for a film that has faced months of backlash before release.